Yo, guess who's back? Back again. I'm here, and I got my buddy Leo coming on with me. We're gonna talk a little shit. We're gonna talk some MMA. We're gonna talk UFC. Here we go. What's up with my man Leo? What's up, dude?
What's up, brother?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
You are good. So, what's happening on the other side of the old Atlantic Ocean these days?
Well, the whole country is confined.
Oh,
You can't go up to 10 kilometers, and yeah, it's everything is good.
everything is good. All right. Well, it's good to see you again, man. We got a
Good to
lot
see you
to
too,
talk
man.
about. I mean, the UFC is making all kinds of noise right now. They got a new apparel deal with Venom. They signed Patty the Batty. They got a new heavyweight champion. So we got a lot to talk about. Why don't we start off talking about last weekend's event, UFC 260, and get right into that. What did you think about the event? And how impressive was Francis Ngannou's performance in your eyes?
First of all, the event was great. I think a lot of finishes, a lot of impressive finishes. Furthermore, display of performance from Vincent Luque, from Shanomali, which I actually was a bit of a hater recently, a bit because I was started to get annoyed by his behavior after his loss. But man, this guy, he's fucking gold. Jimmy Mulaki,
Jimmy
out of
Malarkey.
nowhere, out
Yeah.
of nowhere. So yeah, great fights, but of course, it got overshadowed. All of them got overshadowed by the performance of Francis. Calm Francis is a scary Francis.
Oh
That's what
man,
it is.
he looks bigger and better than ever. He didn't have to show a lot of takedown defense, but he did show he has some takedown defense. He can grapple a little bit. And my God, that guy's power is just it's on another level. He is a terrifying human being. And I don't know. How do you feel about the reign of Francis? Do you see anybody knocking him off there anytime soon? Like
I mean, anyone can knock anybody
at
off.
any time, right?
It's,
Any given day.
yeah, even I think Volkov is a quite of a test.
Okay.
Gan as well, because psychologically will play something. It will be a war of coaches, because Fernando Lopez is a bit angry with Francis. Uh, so that will be interesting, and of course John Jones is right on the corner.
Right. Now, if you were, we all saw what Dana White said about John Jones, and John Jones, all you got to do is make a phone call if you want the fight. And he said Derek Lewis is the fight to make. Um,
That would be fair.
if
Not forgetting Stipe has got
Yeah,
a right
I was
for a
just gonna
rematch.
say, would you go with a trilogy fight with Stipe, giving him Stipe he reigned supreme for so long in that heavyweight division. Um, for so long. I feel like he deserves that. He might not be ready for it right away, and maybe you don't want to put Francis on the shelf too long because Francis didn't take any damage. You can go ahead and book a Derek Lewis fight, in a
That's
couple.
the fair. That's the fair thing to do.
Yeah, go
In all
ahead,
honesty,
book a Derek Lewis fight, and then give Stipe the crack back at it if they can't figure out the money thing with John Jones. And how did you feel about John Jones saying, "Go ahead and cut me"? Is that just a tactic that he's pulling?
I don't think much about those stuff. Like this kind of tweets and stuff. It's just lots of noise for not a lot of nothing happening. It's like Conor, who says like he wants Conor McGregor belt. It's one of those things. I don't really even look at it seriously. And John Jones will not ask to be cut seriously, but he won't fight for 10 millions. Like, he wants more, and he deserves it. Maybe.
I think he does deserve it, and I don't know about you. I don't know how you feel about it, but I hate the fact that boxing boxing really and I love boxing as well, but boxing has really become second in line to mixed martial arts. MMA is reign supreme at the top. Number one king of combat sports is MMA right now. Boxing is two, and then you got bare knuckle creeping right up in there. So it's like I do not understand how a title fight in boxing, a guy can get $50 million, and John Jones can't get $10 million to fight.
I don't know.
It,
It sounds shady, doesn't it? Like
it does. It's crazy.
because boxing does make that much money. Like I think BKFC nearly potentially will make more money soon. It's getting really really popular, and it's a good thing because they treat well the fighters, they pay them well. So
Yeah, and talking about taking care of your fighters, like as you know, I've been covering bare knuckle a lot. BKFC. I just had TJ Chang on. He's fighting in Bare Knuckle Kingdom next week.
amazing dude.
Yeah,
We
very cool
just
guy.
very cool guy. Yeah.
Yeah, super cool. I had a good time talking to him. The thing is, David Feldman yesterday, broke some news that all these other fight promotion presidents should really take note about taking care of your fighters. He started a pension plan for the bare knuckle fighting championship athletes, and Matt Kohler in the comments just mentioned that he's actually putting money aside for retirement for these fighters, so down the road they're not completely fucked. You know what I mean?
That's amazing. That's
It is
amazing.
it is amazing, and it's amazing to me that the largest organization in the world, the Ultimate Fighting Championship, and Dana White hasn't done something like this for his people. You know what I mean? He should really take note. If you're not going to pay them the millions that the boxers are getting, at least give them a future.
Yeah, I guess that's why Dana is angry with a lot of people, a lot of good people, a lot of fighters. There's a reason for that. Like he's a bit of a he's a bit of a rat sometimes. Well,
It just doesn't make sense. Oh, Matt Kohler in the comments, he has manager to Sam Shoemaker, who will be fighting he will be fighting Joey Beltran for the heavyweight title very soon. So that's very cool. I'd love to get him on the show. He says we should get him on the show, so we'll work that out. Matt, no problem. Hit me up. Anyway, so back to UFC 260. I wanted to ask you. So everybody had was blown away by Francis's performance, of course, and that was kind of the story of the night. One of the things that really aggravated me about the night was Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley's, I don't know if it's arrogance,
oh my gosh,
dude, the turnaround.
I know what you're gonna say. I know what you're gonna say. I'm thinking the same.
The walk off, the turnaround and walk off arrogance.
Why? Not against Tomas Almeida. Like it's potential death. It's he's a guy that can knock you out still. Like he was in danger at some point, Sean. Like that was madness what he did.
It was mad. Like he should have ended him in the first round against the cage, but he I don't know who he thinks. I just don't like his shtick. I guess I don't. And maybe I'm a hypocrite because I liked Conor, but you know what? In Conor would never do that. Conor will
never do that. That's I totally agree. Like they're quite different people. It's not because Sugar Sean is copying a lot Conor that is not even similar. I think Conor is a way less disrespectful person in his arrogance. Conor is not arrogant. He got an ego. I think he's never like talking that way, and doing this kind of shit that like, yeah, okay, I let the guy up and I finish him with the left, then I can sell my t-shirts, I finished him with my left, like that's weird, it's just
you got a fan of your accent.
Thanks.
Yeah,
I love Sean O'Malley, and I think that was a nice thing he didn't finish in the end, but that was danger he shouldn't have put himself into.
Right. I just it pissed me off to like no end when you're taught to fight until the referee stops the fight. You know what I mean? And it's just like, oh my God, man, stop doing that shit. He did it twice. And you know what? The second time when the ref told him continue, that bomb that he dropped on Almeida, good God, he put the nail in his coffin. Woof.
Oh my God, and that says a lot about Sean O'Malley. I think it was quick to fire on him, calling him the hype trend that's gonna derail immediately. I think he's a top guy. Like he's scary in his technique, but his main problem is he's fragile. You know, physically he's fragile, and that's always a worry. Like his knees and his calves and stuff like that. That's all breakable easily.
Yeah. He's definitely a character, man, and he put out some good interviews leading up to the fight. Sean O'Malley's definitely a star, but what he needs to do is he needs to tweak some of his little quirky, stupid shit that he does, or he's gonna lose fans. The thing that he did with uh, sh- what the hell is his name, Casey Kenny, when he did that podcast, and Sean O'Malley is holding his baby in his arm, and he says, "Yeah, why wouldn't I try heroin?" I mean, I'm not a loser. I'm not a pussy. I'm not going to get it. He says, I'm not going to get addicted to it. Why wouldn't I try it? I'm like, can you possibly sound any more ignorant, you idiot?
Fuck! Like that's so stupid. And the worst is that he's probably trolling. You know, in the end. Like I hope so. I hope so. Otherwise, he's really a dumbass. But I don't think he's that dumb. You know, I think it must be some kind of weird dark humor trolling.
Yeah,
But
it was an awkward thing that he did. He was on camera like we are right now. He's holding his newborn child in his hand, and
yeah,
he's talking about drug use, and he goes, "Yeah, why wouldn't I try heroin?" I
yeah.
mean,
The
like, come
problem is
on,
that
dude. You got
he got
fans
a
out
lot
there.
of young yeah, he got a lot of young fans. Like he's really popular among young people. And some people like might not get the you know the humor in it and just think like if he does that why do that like
Yeah.
sugar team sugar train.
It was just a dumb thing they did. I really didn't like that. But either way. Anyways, after UFC 260 coming up, we got Marvin Vittori versus Kevin Holland.
No,
We got
not even
Rob.
a word about Tyron.
Oh, you want to? Yeah, okay. Let's talk about Tyron real quick.
He deserves it, I think.
Yeah, what do you think, man? He had a great run in the UFC. He's one of the best welterweights ever. He had a really, really hard skid towards the end of his UFC campaign. What do you think about his performance against Vicente Luque, and where do you think he goes from here?
I think it shows how tough Vicente is to take those bombs. And I really liked it. I really he wanted to change not only for himself, but I think as well for the fans to shut the criticism.
Yeah,
And as say Dana White, and that's quite nice to say about him from a guy that doesn't like him. He went on his shield, and man, I think Tyron had a good run, and it's sad to see him go. You know, maybe he should have stayed for one more against a guy that is not as much as a killer. You know, BJ Penn had how many chances? You know,
yeah,
uh,
too many chances.
too many chances.
Yeah,
But Tyron is not that shit. You know, like he's actually, I think he's still top level, top 10 guy.
right. And
That's sad.
I think that Tyron, like honestly, everyone's talking about bare knuckle because that's the hottest new thing out there right now. Like the idea of him going and not having to wrestle, but everyone forgets that his bread and butter is wrestling. He's a grappler. He's an all-American. He's an excellent, strong, powerful wrestler. So if he was to go over and sign with Bellator or PFL or One, I feel like he still has time left in that sport. Now,
Because
if he wants to hang it up, if he wants to move on from the MMA and the MMA gloves, hanging the MMA gloves up and go bare knuckle. Fuck shoot, I'll watch that for sure. I mean,
I, I
there's
would,
fights
I
out
would.
there.
I think he will have chances there.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm interested to see what he does. If he retires and do rap.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I hear that he's getting better and his music's getting better, but his first few songs that I heard were not so
Yeah,
awesome.
it's not great anyway.
Dude, if you look at Tyron Woodley, he fights at 170, but that guy has to walk around at like 195, 200 pounds. He's a
Yeah,
beast of a dude.
man,
It,
Vicente controlled him on the clinch.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Vicente had him. Yeah. It's like Vicente Luque showed me some things that night. That dude's a tough, strong, powerful striker.
Crazy.
Um, well, what I was going to say about, a lot of talk about T Woodley and the BKFC,
That would be scary, I think.
dude,
Man,
they got Thiago Alves over there. They got Hector Lombard. They got
is he
there's a
still active? Thiago Alves?
oh yeah,
Not
he's
sure.
fighting for BKFC. He's 1-0 in the BKFC, and he's active on their roster, and
Oh,
he's
that's
good over there.
amazing.
You know
Yeah,
who
this guy's a monster.
dude? I think him and Julian Lane. I think him and Thiago Alves. You know who else I think? There's a guy named Lorenzo Hunt that fights at 185 pounds over in BKFC. If Tyron wanted to fight at 185 pounds over there with the gloves off, him and Lorenzo Hunt, both super athletes. Lorenzo Hunt is an incredible athlete. If you look him up and watch some of his workouts, the dude's a freak. Him and T Woodley would square up nicely.
This would be a banger.
Yeah. Anyways, it was a great career for Woodley.
A little homage. Homage to the former champ, I think, because a lot of hate on this guy. I'm annoyed at that. Like, stop fucking trolling T Wood. Like, the guy is a fucking legend. He went on his shield. You can stop trolling him now, I think, guys. Like, for the not people watching, but I'm speaking to some MMA fans.
Right, hell yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, well, you know what it was is like Woodley hit the skid so hard at the end there, and he just lost so many consecutive rounds in a row that people were just like, he's got nothing left. Dude, for the love of God, just stop. But then he went out there against Luque, and he went out on his shield, man, tough as hell. He put on a good performance, and he got beat. It was 1 round war. There's a guy named Yuli Diaz in the BKFC. If you don't know who that is, he holds the world record for the fastest knockout ever. 3 seconds. Blasted this dude across the ring. That would be a hell of a fight with Woodley.
Technically, the fastest knockout isn't that guy that it's not Keith Haring that got kissed in the mouth and knocked a guy out in the face-off.
Maybe was it like yeah before the fight even started
in Pride? I think Keith Haring he got kissed on the mouth by a Japanese guy and he knocked him out during the
face-off.
So technically, that's the fastest knockout.
Yeah, he knocked him out before the fight even started. I want to point out, because I want to talk a little bit about the next 2 pay-per-views with the UFC coming up with you, because they're amazing. But let's not forget about is it next weekend, April 10th? You got Marvin Vettori versus Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland coming off of a. Is there any other way to describe like a silly, stupid performance that that last performance against Derek Brunson? I don't even know how to describe it. I was so annoyed by Kevin Holland. What did you think about that?
I didn't watch the whole fight already. I was bored.
It's like Kevin Holland wouldn't stop clowning the whole time. He's talking to people outside the ring. He's laughing and joking. And I get it. That's your thing. That's your shtick. But for crying out loud, man, at some point, you got to drop that routine and you got to actually attempt to win a fight. And you know, he's
just had one performance like that.
Right. Yeah. I was going to say, he just came off of 5 straight wins. Like, he was on a roll, on a straight up beeline for a title shot, and then he goes out and puts this like stinker of a performance. So with that said, I feel like him taking this fight with Marvin Vettori, he's coming out there with something to prove. Like, Dana, I'm sorry about what I did 2 weeks ago. I'm going to make it up to you. I would look for fireworks in that fight.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I guess so. Like, he's in this kind of Anderson Silva situation. He cloned around too much, but Marvin Vettori won't let him have this snooze fest. He's not the kind of fighter. That's why Dana probably was delighted to see him coming in the window of this fight.
Yeah,
probably because Marvin Vettori is a banger. He's probably one of the best middleweight in the world. You know, top 5. You know, he's a monster. He's a killer. And
right, and Marvin Vettori holds a very close decision loss to the current champion too. So Vettori's a beast. He, a win against Kevin Holland, he could be right in the conversation for Israel Adesanya. So,
absolutely.
Joe Ivy wanted to point out that you're wearing your best jacket while I'm wearing yesterday's hoodie. Thanks a lot, Joe. I'm comfortable over here. All right, it's my day off.
It's actually a really crappy jacket. Like you can't see on the video because it's too crap of quality from my perspective. But it's in bad
Well,
condition.
you look great, buddy.
I love the card anyway. Sodiq Yusuf, Sam Alvey, Smiley. I love Sam Alvey.
Yeah,
So
Smell Sam. You got Nina Anjanoff fighting Mackenzie Dern on there. You got Mike Perry and Daniel Rodriguez. That's a really good card.
not forgetting one of my favorite fighters all time, Jim Miller.
Yeah, Jim Miller's up there. Yeah, he's headlining the prelims on that one. Yeah, that's next weekend. That's a great card. After that, you got another one. I mean, the UFC just keeps pumping them out, but the card is not. The card's not.
Gastelum.
Yeah, Gastelum and Robert Whitaker. That's going to be a great one on that card, but not official. You got Jeremy Stevens and Jakar Close. You got
yeah, that's amazing. You got Gerard Meerschaert.
Meerschaert's on that card.
Alexander Romanov versus Juan Espino. Great matchup. If you don't know the names, that's all right. Just watch it. That would be amazing. Juan Espino is some kind of weird guy, like looking, but he's just amazing. He's just like such a powerhouse. Like I don't know if I ever saw such a squared guy in my life. He's a square, literally.
Yeah. I mean, you got and another one on there. You got Violent Bob Ross, right? Is he on
Violent Bob Ross is there. Luis Pena.
Yeah,
you got
Luis
Abdul
Pena's on
Razak Al Hassan as well.
Yeah. So I mean, and then Justine Kish and Tracy Cortez are pretty decent flyweights. It's a nice little card too. After that, though, is the topic of conversation, man. We got Kamaru Usman fighting Street Jesus Jorge Masvidal. You got Weili Zhang fighting Rose Namajunas. You got Valentina Shevchenko defending her title against Jessica Andrade. Chris Weidman,
yo.
And then Anthony Smith and Jimmy Crute. Cowboy Oliveira against Randy Brown. Good freaking Lord, man. You got Brandon Allen and Carl Roberson. These cards are getting better, and they just keep stacking them, man.
It's incredible. It's incredible. Like, just imagine. There was not Nate Diaz versus Leon Edwards on this card.
Nate Diaz is on 262. This is 261.
Okay, just a word on 261 before, or a few words on 261 before, because I really want to talk about Nate Diaz right after.
We will. so just real quick. Okay, this card is incredible on paper. You look at it. Let me just ask you your opinion on the three title fights, and then we'll move on to 262 because there's much more to talk about at 262. Okay, Kamaru Usman, Jorge Masvidal. Who do you got?
That's hard to say. It's a really variable fight. I hope it's not the same as last time, or it can really be. I think it's 60% chance. I think Jorge can catch him. I don't know. With the recamp, Jorge apparently says that he can beat him. I give it to Kamaru anyway.
And you know what's funny?
Short,
Dude, Leo, I think it's funny. Somebody posted it the other day, and I don't remember who it is. Do you have your volume up on your computer? I can hear myself now.
Sorry?
No, I thought I can hear myself. I don't know if you had your volume up too high. So somebody posted on social media the other day. I don't remember who it was, so I can't give credit, but it was like Jorge Masvidal is the guy who says anytime, anywhere, any place, I'm a fighter. But then he loses to Kamaru Usman and he goes, I didn't have enough time to prepare. You know what I mean? I thought you were the anytime, anywhere, anybody person, but you blame the loss on
I mean, a lot of people says a lot of things they don't necessarily do all the time. I don't say he's not that type of guy. I just say that, maybe, like people find excuses, and that was a shit performance anyway from both.
It was a shit performance, and I'm going with Kamaru as well. But in the co-main event, I mean, is there two co-main events? It's 3 title fights. So let's talk Weili Zhang and Rose Namajunas. You got Weili coming off her incredible performance with Joanna last year, fight of the year.
That I think she lost. Sorry.
Yeah, that a lot of people think she lost that, and I think Joanna got robbed because her head was swelling. That's all.
Yeah. What do GSP with Hendricks.
Right. What do you think about this one? Do you think Rose has what it takes? You think so?
I mean, MMA mats, they're not something like that really exists apparently, but I mean, Rose knocks out Joanna, so Rose beats Whaley. So no, that's not how it works. But I still give it to Rose. I just believe in her. She's a genius.
Yeah, she's great, and she's a hell of a performer. And if you know what, focused, mentally strong Rose is dangerous. We don't know where her head's at, but
That's
you know,
that's true.
if she has all her ducks in a row and she's ready to get back in there and pour it out, I think Rose takes that one too. That would be the most likely upset on the card. And then the last title fight, Valentina Shevchenko, Jessica Andrade. Do you see Valentina Shevchenko ever giving up that title?
Not against Andrade, but the thing is with these fights, at least Andrade got a chance because she's such a power puncher. But yeah, Valentina all way. You know my opinion on that.
Yeah.
I don't see Valentina losing. You know, it's just like that for me. She's the woman GSP.
She is. I think she's leagues above every other girl in that division. She's unbelievable. And like I went on to Ben Field's show called Against the Cage. Have you ever checked that show out? Ben Field Against the Cage, Friday nights at 9:30, I believe. It's a good show. Ben knows his shit. It's really fun. I've been on there a couple times with him, and we did a show where we predicted who's going to be the title holder at the end of the year. You know what this maniac said?
No.
Lauren Murphy.
Ooh. What?
Yes. Yeah, he
Why
said.
not? Maybe if he's right, people should give him a lot of money.
Oh yeah. I mean, when he said that, I was just like, dude, I had to stop the show for a second. I was like, I cannot let you continue. This is throw in the towel, Ben. What are you talking about? But anyways, on that show, I said that, and you know what? I said this was in January. I think we did the show. I said Valentina will defend her title against Jessica Andrade at some point this year. Then they finally made that card, and then I said that Amanda Nunes Valentina will get made later on, like November timeframe, and that's the only fight that makes sense. Valentina Shevchenko and Amanda Nunes for the 135-pound title later on this year. The trilogy fight, UFC needs to make that. If she gets through Jessica Andrade the way that we think that she's going to do,
Yeah, it's the fight to make.
It's their fight to make. It's the only one that makes sense.
You need to repair the controversy around those fights,
right?
Especially the second one. So you got to make the fight. That's something that needs to be done.
That second fight, a lot of people, just like the Whaley and Joanna, a lot of people thought that the challenger won that fight.
Yes,
and I still do. I have probably watched that fight 5 times, and I've never had my mind changed. My mind has never been changed. It's always been Valentina won that fight. So
yeah, the same.
I don't know if anybody in the comments section agrees or disagrees with us. I'd like to hear your comments. But moving on to the 260.
Maybe just before, can you give me your opinion on Weidman Hall? Who do you got?
Oh, dude, Uriah Hall. I do, and I think the reason why is Uriah Hall training out of Fortis in Texas now. Fortis MMA is one badass gym. They're producing some killers, and now he's training down there, and he was living in the gym and training at Fortis, and I believe that that is what's going to turn his career around, and we may even actually see the killer that we were supposed to see out of Uriah Hall with this new regime. So yeah, I think I have not been impressed with Chris Weidman for a long time. All due respect to the guy, former champion. I liked Chris Weidman for a long time, but he has not really been too impressive for a while now. And he's a big enough name for Uriah to get a big win, a big knockout win, and then, plant his flag in the middleweight division as somebody to be talked about again.
Yeah, he's a big name. I think he got a resurgence in his training and his career. I think he kind of revitalized himself. I saw some glimpses in the last fight that makes me think that he's really getting better, and I like what I see from Chris Weidman. So I'm gonna pick him actually for this one.
Okay,
I think he got the power to just take him down and do a wrestling clinic.
It'll have to be that. If he's going to stand and bang with Uriah, everybody knows it. If you want to stand and trade with him, you're in trouble. So if he does, Right, especially him. Yeah, Chris has great wrestling. He's got good jujitsu. He could definitely if he uses his he uses his God given talents that he grew up with.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I can see that. But I'm gonna go with
Don't try the
Uriah.
spinning back kick. That's just it, Chris. Don't try the spinning back kick. That's you're gonna finish like Rockhold. Finished him like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see, man. That is an interesting fight. That card is great. That card's a great card.
Yeah,
We're gonna
but the 262 is even greater.
I know 262, but right before I know God, we can do this all day, but we're gonna talk about UFC 262 next. Right before we do that, the event before that is Corey Sandhagen versus TJ Dillashaw. Who do you got in that one?
Oh yeah, sorry. There's Reyes Prohaska as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just this single fight, Reyes Prohaska excites me very much because I mean, Jiri Prohaska is a fucking madman. And I got Jiri, by the way, for this one because it's just what the fuck is this style? Like, I love it. Like slapping his face and
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna go with him as well.
But yeah, for the Sanhagen Zilla show, that is crazy. Like that's a question mark this fight because you got Chris Weidman, you got Corey Sanhagen, which comes from an absolute brutal molesting of everybody except for Sterling, and you got TJ Dillashaw, which is coming off 2 years off.
2 years off. Yeah.
More.
2 years off. Who knows? Who knows how much the performance enhancers? I mean, every time a guy pops hot for something like that and takes a long period of time off, you really start to question his entire career. Like, how many wins was he on EPO, and was he doping? Like, you know what I mean? Like, now he has to come back, he has to fight clean, and he has to prove his greatness. But you know what?
I think he's great. Like it's like Vitor Belfort. Nobody questions Vitor Belfort ever.
Yeah.
For anything. Like he's still the fucking legend, but the guy was steroided like a bodybuilder. Like the guy was a pharmacy, and everyone still consider him like a legend. So I don't really get it why some people are more mean with TJ, maybe because of the corner snake in the grass.
Snake in the grass, yeah. You know what? TRT tour was not to be fucked with. That's for sure. Like you just said, Vitor was the man, but juiced up Vitor was a Terminator.
It kills you.
Yeah. Moving on from that, so I'm gonna go with TJ.
Oh my gosh! And Donald Cerrone, you got Sanchez.
Oh my god! Yeah, I forgot about that one. We gotta go ahead. We got Donald Cerrone. And do you think Diego Sanchez continues fighting somewhere else after this, or is he called?
He gets beaten and he's out. He's out. I want that to happen. Like no, I don't know. I just want him to fire his coach first. If he does anything, that's just danger he's putting on himself training with this motherfucker.
Okay, so what we got to do, we have to talk about UFC 262, and we got to talk about the return of Nathan Diaz. We got to talk about Charles Oliveira and Michael Chandler. That card, man, we say it after
all the just even the prelims. Like there is Jacare, there is Mike Grundy.
Yeah. You got Caitlin Chukagian in there.
Caitlin Chukagian, even if I don't really. Andrea Lee against the sister of Valentina.
Oh yeah, Antonina Shevchenko is fighting KGB Lee. Yep.
So after the top 5 is just amazing. The last 5 are just crazy.
Now coming. You live over. You're in Europe, so Leon Edwards, or as Kobe Covington would call him, Leon Scott. Leon Edwards is taking on a returning Nate Diaz. What a surprise that was. Why? Yeah.
What the fuck is that one?
Yeah, what is that and why? And Joe Ivy's asking a question in the comments. Explain to me why Diaz gets the first 5-round non-title fight in UFC history. I don't know the reason behind that, and I haven't heard anything. Have you heard anything, Leo?
Not really. The informations we get from I get from is from, of course, I'm in some British MMA things, but there is not more information that you get from your normal news feeds. For me, it's just random. It's just
You
comes
know what
from
it might
nowhere.
you know what it might be. UFC has gotten into this pattern of multiple title fights.
Yeah,
In title fights are 5 rounds. And you're going to pump out back to back to back pay-per-views with multiple title fights on it, where the main and the co-main and the co-main are all 5 round fights. And
yeah.
then they realize that oh shit, we just ran every single champion out there in the last 3 pay-per-views. We don't have anybody left other than this vacant lightweight title. So why don't we just bring Nate and Leon in here, call it a title eliminator, and make it 5 rounds?
It's
I'm
super bizarre. What the fuck is that? Like,
Yeah,
just I can't get over it. Like, okay, that's a theory that you gave. Another theory is that for favorizing Nate. Just like, give him a chance to win the belt. You know, because let's talk about that. Like, do you realize that in 2 fights, 2 wins, Nate can be champion?
right. And he got he got he hasn't fought since he fought Masvidal, correct?
Yeah, to be fair with this fight, I rewatched the Masvidal fight, and I think it was way closer than people think.
Oh,
The
it
close.
was, and Nate was picking up steam towards the
He
end of the
was, he
fight.
was, he was, he was picking on Austin, and I was picking him to win the fight. So that was
Right.
interesting.
So I just pulled up Nate's record. He's lost 2 of his last 3 fights, and like you say, he has not fought since November 2nd, 2019, and he could be 1 fight away from a title shot. He goes in there, wins a 5 round war with Leon Edwards, and all of a sudden, boom, he's Kamara. He's in. He'll. I love Nate Diaz. I think he's great, but
Yeah.
the problem is he'll get ragdolled to death against Kamara Usman.
Okay, first of all, he's fighting Leon Edwards. That's a really tough fight.
Right.
Really
Exactly.
tough fight for Nate.
I agree.
Because Leon got the wrestling as well. Got the
Mm-hmm.
ground game, and that's tough for Nate. But yeah, I think he'll get ragdolled by Kamaru. I can't even see the fight. I can't even imagine it. That's so bizarre to imagine Nate against Kamaru, isn't it?
They don't look like they belong in the same weight class for sure.
Yeah, it's like, just imagine like Nate triangle him from nowhere. You see that happening, and you're like, oh my god, Nate Diaz is world champion.
Yeah,
Like, what the fuck?
it would be amazing. You got
Oh my god.
and like Joe says in the comments, their gas tank, the Diaz cardio is amazing. So maybe
Yeah.
maybe Nate Diaz is a test for Leon Edwards, because the UFC has had this rocky relationship with Rocky Edwards, Leon Edwards.
Yeah,
They've
which
had
is
this,
weird for me.
yeah, which is weird. He's amazing. He's a great talent, but for
There's a
some
great
reason,
story behind him. It sells, I think.
yeah. So maybe it's more they want Leon Edwards in a 5 round fight to showcase him a little bit, because
I think
he
it is.
he had so much time off, and
Yeah.
what a hell of a opponent.
Maybe make Leon Edwards more famous from even the British people themselves. The more casual watchers and the ones that don't really watch MMA, a bit like Michael Bisping was at time. So
Yeah.
maybe making a bit more a star out of Leon Edwards. But maybe that's interesting. Maybe Dana hopes that Nate loses, and maybe Nate wins, and that's fuck up his plans.
Well, Joe Ivy in the comments, she's steady in the comments right now. I saw somebody else say that, I don't know, maybe it was her that said this the other day on social media. Can you imagine if Nate beats Rocky, right? Jorge beats Usman, and then you have the rematch of Nate Diaz versus Kamaru Usman with both the BMF belt and the welterweight belt on the line. Diaz wins that one, and then he has the trilogy fight with Connor for the fucking welterweight and BMF belt. Like, I know
And he
this is
loses.
this
The
is all.
Command welterweight champion and BMF.
Yeah. This is all smoke and mirrors here, but like it is like fantasy in fantasy land. That would be incredible. Um, let's not forget about the rest of this card, though. Like
Stop
I,
saying that.
th-
My
yeah.
hero, Connor.
Can you imagine that shit? Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
but I mean, we're talking about the Command, but like the real story should be the main actually for the
Yeah, the
lightweight.
main event, you got Charles Dubronx Oliveira, who looks better than ever. That dude is incredibly good right now. He is on a finish streak like no other, just dominating people. And he's fighting, the lifelong Bellator star, Michael Chandler, who came in and murked Dan Hooker right away in the first round.
My gosh.
The UFC didn't get to see a whole lot of Michael Chandler because he did what he wanted to do. He went in there and Iron Mike'd his ass. But this is an interesting fight. I don't think it's a very close fight if it makes it out of the first round. Do you?
I don't know. To be totally honest, I didn't knew that much Michael Chandler before. I knew him, of course, but I didn't knew his characteristics. You know how durable he is, how good is his cardio. But I think from what I saw since, I think he might be. Yeah, both of them got chances even the next rounds. I think. I know Charles got a great conditioning as well, for sure. So
Yeah.
you're in front of two guys that can hold for a while. I think the styles are really different, and that will be a real battle of styles. I think more than a battle of cardio.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Charlie is long. Charlie's a great kickboxer, Muay Thai as well. He did some. He got an excellent striking, really clean, really composed, really smart. The opposite of Michael Chandler, even if Chandler is technical and accurate, I don't say the opposite, but he got way more power. He got way shorter reach as well. And Chandler is a wrestler, and Oliveira is a jiu-jitsu dude. I
Right.
think I think Oliveira controls him if they go together in the clinch or in a situation where they hold themselves. I think Oliveira might submit him.
Right. Oliveira's jiu-jitsu is world class. And
Absolutely.
what's crazy about Oliveira is Oliveira has been in the UFC for 9 years now. Jesus Christ. No. He's been in 13 years and he is
Yeah,
31 years old. He's been in there for 13 years.
it started 2008, 9, something like that.
2008. Holy
Yeah.
smokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was 20 years old, something like that. He was one of the youngest fighters to go ever in the UFC or something, even the younger at the time. And yeah, he was already smoking people with submissions like crazy. Sure,
Unreal.
he got a couple of losses that people might say, "Oh, that's shit losses," but it's losses to monsters.
Mhm.
Like Jim Miller and guys like that. Yeah, I mean, prime Jim Miller is one of the best fighters in the world. He's pound for pound for me.
Dude, he's 31 years old with 30 wins and only 8 losses, man. It's just like the guy's had a hell of a career. He's on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fight win streak. He's finished all but the last one. Submission, knockout, submission, decision. In a dominant decision over El Kukui.
It's
You know,
funny because how long do we hear casually about Charles Oliveira? From like it's been like what 6 months, a year?
yeah.
It's been years I'm a fan of Charles Oliveira, and nobody gave a damn about him, for years. And I was always saying like, yeah, what about Charles Oliveira? He's like 5 win streak and stuff. Like nobody cares about him. Like everyone is like riding this guy's dick or this guy's dick. Nobody's watching really what's happening with Charles, and finally he gets a bit of respect that he deserves. And it's a bit late, I think.
Someone's asking me what my cup is. It's Show Enough. Who's the master? Show Enough. So with that said, I mean, we could talk all day about this stuff, but we should talk about one more fight on that card, and then we got to talk about Patty the Batty and this last Cage Warriors. El Kakui. Is this a crossroads in his career right here? I
Oh,
mean,
it is.
a lot of people are thinking the same way about him as they were thinking about Tyron Woodley after his skid, and
I don't know if he is in the same situation. I will really find it unfair if he gets cut like Tyron Woodley after this next fight. Let's talk that he had innumerous win streak before that, and he's just on 2 losses. Charles Oliveira, one of the probably the best lightweights in the world at the moment, and Justin Gaethje, which is a monster.
yeah,
So like he's fighting Benel Dariush. Okay, maybe he gets caught. There is an accident or something, or maybe like he loses fair and square. He shouldn't be cut. That's what I say. As for the fight itself, I think Tony got it
yeah.
style wise, but Dariush is such an underdog all the time and still keeps beating people. And I'm really happy to see Dariush coming in a resurgence in his career again because he deserves it. And that's he's a fighter I love since really long time. He's on a 6 fight win streak. And look at the guys he beat: Thiago Moises, Drew Dober, Frank Camaro, Drakkar Klose, Scott Holtzman, and Diego Ferreira. They're all beasts.
And he
And
does them in different ways too. Knockout
all,
submissions and decisions. He's a very well rounded. He's got good cardio. He's got good power. He's got good jujitsu. Like Dariush is no joke, and
yeah,
he's got the youth on Tony too. I mean, the only thing like Tony's Tony. He's got cardio for days. He's tough as nails. He's great with his jujitsu. He has awkward striking angles, and he does all this fucking crazy weird breakdance stuff. uh, so
and
like
Tony's
it,
long. He's really long.
and Tony's very long. I mean, that's a great fight. I mean, it's not a walk in the park for Tony at all. I think he
No,
wins it.
no.
I think he wins the fight. I do think he gets back on his horse after this one, and it's what he needs. But
Benil.
Beneil Dariush is no walk in the park for sure.
Oh, he's a monster. I love Benil Dariush. I think he's one of my favorite lightweights as well. You know, one of these totally underestimated guys, a bit like Jim Miller, that I really love that are there since years. And this guy is so tough, durable. He's a fighter more than martial artist even. I mean, this kind of old type of fighters, you know, scrap and bang, Jeremy Stevens,
Yeah.
go and knock out or get knocked out. I love that.
Listen, hold on. I gotta address something in the comment section for a second. You fucking people. All right. I'm drinking coffee, black coffee, dickheads. Okay. I am not drunk. It's fucking 10:55 in the morning on Good Friday. You
Maybe
son.
there's alcohol in the coffee.
I mean, it's black coffee. I mean, this is like my fourth cup of coffee. Maybe I'm a little jittery right now. I'm not drunk, you sons of bitches. I gotta go. I gotta go be a dad in a few minutes. I'm being a really great dad right now by allowing my 9-year-old and 6-year-old to have complete control of the house while I'm in here shooting the shit with Leo for an hour. Uh,
Okay, yeah, we should hurry up with the Cage Warriors things then.
All right, so let's do this real quick. We've been on here for almost an hour. I gotta be a dad in a second. Laugh my fucking ass off, Joe Ivy. Okay, Ivy wants your number, by the way. Joe wants she needs to talk with you, Leo. Your voice is putting Cupid's arrow into Joe Ivy's heart. Yeah, Amy says father of the year. I love you guys. Anyways, let's talk about Cage Warriors real quick. Patty the Batty Pimblett signs with the UFC. What, being a guy from over there, Cage Warriors is your shit. Tell us what we have coming over to the UFC and what we have to look forward to, Leo.
So first of all, I think Cage Warriors is top league. You know, they got so much great fighters over there. We know that Conor comes from that. It's a great gateway to the UFC. And Paddy the Baddy is just the newest thing that comes out of Cage Warriors. And this guy, I don't know if you saw the performance.
I didn't see his last one.
That was amazing. What's an athlete he is, like, just amazing performance. And he's really quick. He's really strong. He gets submissions off. He got good striking. I think he will make amazing work in the UFC.
Yeah.
Is it not? Is it a bit rushed? Maybe a bit. Like he's. I think he might needed another fight in cage to see really.
You think it's rushed? We've been hearing about Paddy Pimblett for 3 or 4 years now, like the next big thing out of
Yeah,
Cage Warriors.
I just like when they defend the belts at least once or twice, and that's why I was happy about Morgan, but we'll talk about him later. But he defends. But yeah, he just got the belt. He just lives to the UFC. It's a bit like okay, you know, uh, I get your wife and I get off and I don't say goodbye. It's just, that's a bit like that, but that's how Cage Warriors works. I know it's a bit like as I say, a getaway to the UFC, but I would have liked to see him defend once. But yeah, I think he's a dangerous for anyone in this division in the UFC.
Now, and he is a lightweight, so he'll be fighting at lightweight in the UFC.
That's tough. That's a tough weight.
And that is one of the most stacked divisions in all of mixed martial arts. The UFC lightweight division, you got, Do Bronx, you got Michael Chandler, Conor McGregor, Tony Ferguson, Justin Gaethje, Dan Hooker. The list goes on. Paul Felder. Who would you match Paddy Pimblett up right away? Would you give him a top tenner, or would you?
I mean, it should be fair nowadays to give top contenders to people. Apparently, that's what people do because Michael Chandler's just got a shot with Hooker directly, which is a guy we see often, which is a top contender. So it will be a fair thing nowadays. But if you think about it, when Conor came to the UFC double champ of Cage Warriors, he started off with Marcus Brimage.
Was Brimage a top 10 guy at that time?
I was going to say a journeyman that comes from the Ultimate Fighter, but didn't even win it. Then what did he have as second fight? Diego Brando was the second.
Yeah, Diego Brando.
Okay,
then
Brando.
His second fight wasn't his second fight against Max Holloway. Didn't it go? It went Brimage, I think Brimage, Holloway, then Brando, then the old dude, the old juice head guy. What was his name there?
No, it's not. It's not really nice. I like Dennis Silva. I think he's an underrated guy. It's the same, why do you call Dennis? Not you, personally, but everyone calls Dennis Silva just like a shit fighter that was just doing spinning back kicks and taking steroids. But I mean, he was way more than that, and he was as well steroided like a lot of people have been, and a lot of people that keeps the respect. Once again, like Victor Belfort. Even Anderson Silva, I think, was tested. Even like people like that, like Ben Rothwell, all these people have got tested positive, and there's not as much disrespect than on the name of Dennis Silva. And that's a bit of a weird take from me, but I like the guy.
Listen, I never even thought of him as a juice head until Conor called him a juice head. He called him a juiced up midget or something like that, and I just thought it was funny.
Yeah,
that's been stuck in my head forever.
That was funny. That was funny take from Conor. Good trash talk, but I like Dennis Silva. I think he had a really constant career. He fought some really tough guys. I'm just taking note. He beat some really amazing fighters: Spencer Fisher, Andre Winner, George Soteriopoulos, Matt Wyman, and I'm talking about 2011. So when these guys were the real deal, the top contenders. Lost to Donald Cerrone, then won to Diego Nunes and Namfam. It would be nice to have a little special about guys like that, guys like Dennis Silva one day, and talk about the careers and give a bit of respect back to the names, because these guys had the toughest competition and fell on the best. Like Dennis Silva only lost to Donald Cerrone, Cub Swanson, Conor McGregor.
Yeah. Apparently, Paddy Pimblett has been called out already by Guram disease or something like that. I'm sorry, I just butchered his name, but he is a fighter out of Georgia. He trains by All Stars Training Center, and he is 12-2 with on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 or 10 fight win streak. So, and looking at the rankings, he is ranked. Where the fuck is it? I just saw it, man.
I don't know this dude.
No,
Guran.
he's not even in the top 25. So, I mean, that would probably be a good fight for him, for Patty coming in. A guy like that who's 12,
Oh yeah, yeah, I recognize him.
yeah, 12-2 on a 9 fight win streak. Not even in the top 25. That'd be a good one. I mean, go ahead. Uh,
I mean,
Perfect name drop, Kyle. LOL. Yeah, yeah. All right, I tried.
do you give him a famous name out of the rankings? I like, what are the rankings even like for the
I mean,
light?
Alexander Hernandez wouldn't be a bad one.
Yeah, I could give him like Drakkar Klose, Trinaldo, a guy like that. You know, a bit Alexander Hernandez, but how much is where is Hernandez?
What about Diego Fiera?
Diego
Uh,
Ferreira, yeah. Guys like that. I think a bit bigger name will be nice. He's champion after all, you know.
Yeah,
So yeah.
that's very exciting for the UFC. Another big prospect coming out of Cage Warriors. You know,
Yeah.
the last humongous name that came out of Cage Warriors turned the UFC into a $4 billion company. I'm sure.
Uh,
I'm sure.
there, there should have been another one, another name that should join the UFC.
Yeah, who's that?
Morgan Charrière.
Oh, Morgan Shire. That's a fucking great segue, dude, because let's just talk about that real quick. He was the champ till very recently, and he got absolutely robbed. I actually watched it this morning. I do not understand what the judges were looking at here. Can you talk about that for a little bit?
Okay, so Morgan Charrière is probably the best hope we have coming up from France. He's an amazing guy. Like start to be a little star as well. Got a YouTube channel, got quite success, not only for MMA but as well for workout and stuff. So he's like a real YouTube star in France for the young people. Um, so he's 25, young guy, you know, like tough, but as well he's really smart. He got a great technique. So the team he's coming from is not MMA Factory; it's another team, but they're really really technical people. And the work he did in Cage Warriors was amazing. He captured the belt in an amazing fight in Cage Warriors 119. Body hook to the liver or something like that, and the guy went down. That was just a perfect performance. In Cage Warrior 122, we have him coming back. So about like 15 days ago against Jordan Vucenic, and he got robbed like hell. Like as say Kyle, that was terrible. That was a terrible judge's decision. Like that was like maybe he won 1 round.
I was gonna say when you watched it, and I just watched it this morning, so it's fresh in my head. I really only gave Vucenic the second round, and I don't understand what the referees were watching because it was like Morgan basically controlled the fight the entire time. He pushed the pace. He took down Vucenic multiple times. He landed good strikes. I mean, Vucenic landed some decent strikes back at him, but
That's true.
the control, the ring control, the grappling, the takedowns, I have no clue how they judged that. I was shocked, actually.
You know what? Bias. What do you want to say? It's Cage Warriors. It's
Yeah,
British.
you're speechless over there.
Yeah, some you know there is some kind of antagonism sometimes between French people and English people for old stuffs. I don't know if it's about that. And I think it's bias. You know, the judges just gave him because he's English. I think. I don't know. It's one of those things. You know, like you go to Brazil, the judges are Brazilian, and they give it to Brazilian guy even if he won only 1 round. That happened in the UFC already. But maybe it's something like that. I hope not.
It's really unfortunate, and I don't think it's gonna like hurt his career much
Do you think
because because he's only 25 years old and
he's mature as well?
he's very mature. He's very sharp fighter. He's strong. His grappling is super strong, and like he's a well-rounded. He's got knockouts, he's got submissions, he's got decision, he's got a gas tank, and like he won that fight, and anybody with eyeballs can see it. So
That's so sad, and
right,
I mean it's annoying in a way because it's a loss of time anyway. He will have to regain his belt and he can't do what he wanted to do. And because he's that type of guy, that he's really, really mature and smart, I think, in his decisions. Okay, when he got the Cage Warrior belt a few months ago, last month, in December, he decided that he would stay in Cage Warriors, which is already something crazy, like most will just take the hype and go to the UFC right away with such a knockout. The guy, you're coming from a country which MMA just got legalized in France. So
yep,
we need this kind of guys, this kind of star power and stuff, guys going to the UFC. Then when the UFC comes in France, you got people to build a card with and names that people recognize in the UFC. So Morgan is just that guy, He wants to defend twice and go to the UFC then to gain the experience once and as well to gain twice the star power that goes with it. He defends the belt. He's like dominant in Cage Warriors, finishes the guys or beat them clearly, and he comes to the UFC. He can get a number ranked person already.
yeah, it's
That's
I don't know.
unfortunate.
I don't know, man. I just think with his age and his age, his record, his athleticism.
Mm.
And you say he's a social media presence. So if I was him, I'd be heavy on the social media, asking for that rematch, get the belt back, defend it once or twice, and then make the journey over into the biggest show on the planet. And he'll be fine. I think he'll be
Yeah,
fine.
he's a quiet person as well. Like, so I don't know if he will be like really vocal about like angrily ask for title shot, but insulting the guy, trolling him. I don't think that would be his style, but yeah, he should definitely, at least regarding to his personality, um, ask like just go to like cage warriors need to understand that that was a fucking robbery. And I'm thinking about those stuffs. I'm thinking like when something like that happened, there should be a commission that could be called for rejudging a fight that got obviously robbed.
Right. It was such an egregious decision. I mean, I don't know. I'm with you. I had it 4-1, and I can't even.
You need to have special commissions
Right.
just for
But
some specific fights. Like for example, Holly Holm the Random. You should need to take the point away from her and then boom, disqualify.
yep.
Even if the judges, you know,
The problem is that this is going to be a problem forever. We have been talking about shitty judges for a decade. You know what I mean? It's I don't know. I had this conversation with Chris when remember did you catch the Chris Lieben episode when he came on Mission Accomplished? Me and him had a big conversation about that, and he was a big believer that it should be former fighters. It should be it shouldn't be all these who knows who boxing judges that
yeah.
are judging MMA fights. It's like these commissions suck, and they really need to reanalyze how they're doing things. You know what I mean?
Sorry.
Yeah. Anyways, dude, it's great catching up with you, of course. And let's do this again more often.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. You're a great mind. You know your shit. You know your MMA, and you're on the other side. It's nice to get a point of view from the other side for sure. And you're always contributing to the show and whatnot. So I appreciate you, brother. Go ahead,
Appreciate you, man.
shout some people out. Do whatever you want to do before you get out of here. I know it's a Friday night over there, so go have fun.
Yeah. Kisses to everybody from the page. Like, love you all, guys. And yeah, see you soon. Let's do something again.
All right, brother. Always fun to talk to you, Leo. You have a good weekend. I
Have
don't
a good
know.
weekend.
I don't know what you're doing for your weekend, but have a good one. All right, bud.
Not much, we can't go far. So I mean, watching
Well,
MMA. I know there is no UFC this week, so I don't know.
yeah.
Watch old stuff. At the moment, I'm watching a lot of Pancrase and stuff like that
Oh,
on the Fight Pass.
what a boss rooting.
Yeah, some Bass Rutten classics, but Vernon Wise, you
Yeah,
know,
Nice, buddy.
Tiger White.
All
Okay,
right,
buddy.
man. We'll catch up again. Talk to you soon.
That's you, brother.
All right, later. All right, that was our man Leo over in France. What a Friday, huh? It's Good Friday. I don't have to go to work. I talked to TJ Chang in Thailand, and then I get up with my boy Leo over there in France. So this was a good time. We broke down some stuff for you all. We previewed some things. A lot of good MMA to look forward to. I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Pay attention to the show next Wednesday. I will have Josh Burns and Elvin Brito. With that said, peace to your bum crease. I'm out of here.